What's happening, people? Welcome to the Brain Nutrition Revolution. Trust the evidence. I wanted to do a video about your plant-based replacement meat products and what they should look like in the modern world and what they are like. Because what they are, the truth of what they are, I mean, I look at them a lot when I'm walking around the supermarkets, and they're actually made out of a lot of them are made out of stuff which would trigger a bad mental health reaction in me, and I can't touch. A lot of the time, they've got wheat, they're like heavy carb, and the stuff that they're making these things about is just not very good. It's like they've got together in a room and tried to think of a way to make it as bad as possible and poison as many people as possible, causing inflammation and just being negative. And in no way does it try to mimic meat. And that should be the point of these foods, is to nutritionally copy what meat is. And then that would be, because that's what you're cutting out your diet, isn't it? When you give up meat, you're cutting out the meat nutrition out your diet. So you want to replace it with meat nutrition. Surely that makes sense. But there's not, they make out that meat is bad because of the fat. To demonize the fat, so then they make these false burgers which are low fat, and they make that as a positive thing when it's actually the worst thing about them. So you're missing out on all these fats which are kind of essential for your brain. And like, so I'm not going to go into all that ranting about how these plant-based things are bad, because there's enough stuff about that. What this video is about is what they should be, and that's because I'm an ex-chef. I do make sometimes plant-based patties out of different ingredients, and these are very nutritionally similar to meat. Like, they're not far off. There's obviously certain things you can't get out of plants, but even then you can fortify it. Man, I'm saying these foods, DHA is a prime example. So why aren't they fortifying these plant-based burgers with DHA, which is a vital brain nutrient? It's cheap enough, so why not? I haven't seen one do it. I haven't seen one fortifying these plant-based burgers with stuff that is actually in meats that people don't get on a plant-based diet. You know what I mean? It's a joke. So, I mean, you can make very healthy plant-based patties and other plant-based things. You can make amazing things. You got mushrooms, you got seeds, you've got coconut, you've got all these amazing. And then on top of that, you've got things which are beneficial for your brain, like ashwagandha, lion's mane. You've got all kinds of stuff you can put into these things. So you could make a brain burger, you know what I mean? You could make a super health burgers if you wanted, but they're not, and they don't want. There's no will to do it. They just seem to want to poison us, and I don't understand it. Like, because, like I say, I mean, if I wanted to, I could make one of these things and put it into market and spread it, and it would be a genuine meat replacement thing, cheap to make. And I don't see why not. I mean, it's all about the source ingredients. I've got no problem with the plant-based stuff, because sometimes I eat plant-based to have a little 2 days off meat myself, and I feel good for it. And I've even had periods in my life when I go without meat at all, sometimes for the benefits that I get. So it would be good for me if there existed things that I could go in the shop and buy, which could tick that box, and I didn't have to make them myself. And it's just not the case. I mean, it baffles me, because some of them are so bad. It's really, it makes you just think more and more that they're trying to poison us, because they're telling us to stop eating these foods with, like, say, take beef for example, and then you're taking away the DHA, even though you get small amounts in the supermarket crap. So even, like I say, grass-fed burger, if you stop eating that, take that out your diet, then you're going to be missing out on DHA. So why not create a grass-fed beef burger replacement which replaces the DHA and even has more, even has the same amount as a fish oil capsule, which is possible with algae. Do you know what I mean? You can do it. I mean, in the past, I used to buy liquid algae, and it was great. You just have a little swig of it. So why don't you just shove a load of that? I mean, you can buy a powder as well. Just put a load of that in the patties, and that's it. You've made a burger which is beneficial to the brain in some way. And I look at most of these burgers, the big companies, and there's zero benefits to the brain in this food, zero. And I'd say all of them, or most of them, are negative. And if you're like putting these on buns and bread as well, honestly, people are going to get really sick because people are getting encouraged to go plant based recently, and it's all, I'm all for it. It's a good thing, and there's lots of benefits for the morality of it. I'm all for it, but the problem is the method, and people aren't doing it right, and people aren't being instructed about the DHA thing and the things that they need to do, and a lot of them are going for these plant based things, and they're absolutely decimating people's health. So you're removing one of the healthier things from the diet for people's brains and replacing it with a negative, and it's going to get worse and worse. You know what I mean? It's an absolute disgusting thing. So yeah, I just wanted to do that on that one. The quick rant on that, like, doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, Trusty Evans, and welcome to the Brain Nutrition Revolution. Take it easy.